Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other updates. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Rhea made Ranbir believe that he truly got intimate with her, and Prachi confront Ranbir over his intimacy with her sister Rhea. Then Prachi and Ranbir had a fight and they both slept in the same room together unknowingly. Let's continue from there. Ranbir is looking at Prachi sleeping on the bed, and he wishes to see her sleeping, waking, sitting, and he used to see her live her life in the room. He just hopes to see her happy, and he used to live seeing her happy, and says his dreams are just limited to tonight, as he will get AC feast in her room tomorrow. Ranbir thinks that if Prachi cannot love him, then she should at least act, so as to give an excuse to him to leave, as he cannot spend his life without her. He sits and gets sleepy. He thinks that if she sees me sleeping, then she will run to her room. He thinks to switch off her alarm so that she can sleep peacefully. Ranbir takes the clock and switches off the alarm. He keeps back the clock on the side table and looks at Prachi. A song plays in the background. He goes to the washroom and sits there to sleep. In the morning, he wakes up and comes out of the bathroom. He opens the door silently and goes out. Prachi is still sleeping. Ranbir thinks today we have slept at different places, but one day we will soon sleep together and our lives will be one, and for that I have to prove my innocence to her, and until then I cannot be at peace. Ranbir comes to Rhea's room and thinks from where to start. He started searching for proof, seeing Rhea not there. Ranbir finds the cupboard open and thinks that Rhea must have kept something important in it. Rhea comes there and sees Ranbir checking in her cupboard and asks, "What are you doing here in my room?" Ranbir says, "I was searching for my shirt." Rhea says, "Shirt?" She says, "You have always doubted me, but you have gave me the reason to doubt you." Ranbir says, "How can you doubt me? I came to get my shirt." Rhea says it is my room and says, "If you have searched in Prachi's room, then I wouldn't have doubted you." She asks him to tell the truth. Prachi wakes up and thinks that it is 9 a.m. She thinks why the alarm did not ring. She thinks if Ranbir came here. Rhea asks Ranbir to tell what is he hiding. Ranbir asks, "Why are you making me standing in the witness box and making me swear? You should be a lawyer." He says that shirt was very important for me. It was given to me by my mommy on my last birthday and says I like it very much. Ranbir says maybe Vinod kept it here as we are married. He says, "How can you doubt me?" "No." Rhea says, "I was joking and checking your reaction." Ranbir says, "You don't trust me. That is very wrong." Rhea thinks you are innocent and you don't know how to lie. She says, "I know you lied and came for some other work." Grandma asks Chef Naresh what he made for the breakfast. He says poha, sandwich, salad, etc. Grandma says, "I will ask Vikram to increase your salary." Shahana asks Naresh to make paneer paratha for Prachi and cut salad. Grandma asks if that girl will eat so much and says she eats like a bird. Shahana thinks that Prachi have to eat for her baby and says I will make her eat. Grandma asks about Preeti. Naresh says that Preeti will come late as her boyfriend was arrested for theft. He says I tried to make her understand to leave him, but she did not listen. Aliyah hears them and thinks that Grandma and Shahana will get interested in Preeti's life too. Naresh goes to give coffee to Vikram. Shahana says to Grandma that I have to tell you something. Grandma asks what is it. Shahana says she heard Rhea and Aliyah talking about drink, after which nobody can do anything. Grandma says what if they were talking that nothing has happened between Rhea and Ranbir unless something happens due to emotions. Shahana says you told me this. Grandma says I trust Ranbir and his love for Prachi. Shahana asks Grandma. Grandma says we will prove this. Ranbir comes to his room and says nice. Prachi comes there. Ranbir asks, "What are you doing here in my room?" He asks if she has come here to say good morning and asks if she came to fight. Prachi says don't do what you don't know. If you don't know a lie, then don't lie. Ranbir asks, "Do you want me to think all day why Prachi is upset with me?" Prachi says, "I know that you slept here in this room and you haven't gone to the study room." She says, "I can feel your presence when you were near me." Ranbir asks if she can feel his presence. Prachi says, "I had set the alarm at 5 a.m. but someone switched it off." Ranbir says, "Yes, I slept in the washroom and not here." He says, "I know that you will shout seeing me." He says, "I switched off the alarm so that you can sleep peacefully and not to panic." Prachi says, "Why will I panic? I slept with my husband and not with the man who had filled vermilion in Rhea's forehead." Ranbir gets angry and asks why does she hurt him. Prachi says, why did you not tell me that you are sleeping here? Ranbir says, I wanted to comfort you. Prachi says, do you know where is the comfort place for me? She says, I used to sleep in your embrace. I used to feel protected, safe and happy in your embrace. But it is not like that. I feel uncomfortable with your touch now. Ranbir leaves Prachi. A song plays in the background. Prachi gets teary eyes. She goes. Ranbir says to himself that you will get whatever you want, and for that, I have to get rid of this accusation, and then you will get peace in my embrace. Rhea comes to Aliyah and says Ranbir came to know about everything and is searching for proofs. Aliyah asks her to relax and take a long breath. Rhea says my life is ruining. Aliyah asks Rhea to leave it. Rhea says my life is ending as it is Ranbir. She says if Ranbir comes to know about my motives and secret, then he will leave me. Aliyah asks her to stop talking negative. Rhea says I know what Ranbir wants to know. Aliyah says don't trouble my mind. Rhea says I just want to say that when we were in this room, she says then I came back. Ranbir was checking in my cupboard and said that he was checking for his shirt. She says he is investigating and he got doubtful on me that I planned the wedding night with him. She says he doesn't want me and he doesn't want me to stay with him. Aliyah says maybe Ranbir was searching for his shirt in your room. Rhea says Ranbir lied and said that he asked someone about his shirt and then smartly lied, but I am smart to catch lie. She says he said that it was gifted by Pallavi. Let's see if he is saying the truth or lying. Aliyah smiles. Prachi was thinking about Ranbir and she thinks of him, saying that he is a one-woman man. She talks to his photo frame and asks, why did you lie? Grandma and Shahana comes there. Prachi asks, what is all this? Shahana says we wanted and that is why we brought it. Grandma says it will be special if Prachi eat the food. Prachi says we would have it all together today. Shahana thinks of Aliyah and Rhea's words. She asks Prachi what does it mean that after the drink nobody could do anything. Grandma says I had told you. Shahana says I want to know about her opinion. Prachi recalls her conversation with Ranbir and gets up and says that she will be back. Shahana and Grandma try to stop her in vain. Ranbir goes to the washroom to change his clothes. Rhea comes there with Aliyah. Rhea opens the cupboard to check for his clothes. Aliyah and Rhea hears the shower sound and realizes that he is inside. Rhea finds the shirt which Pallavi had gifted to Ranbir and says that Ranbir had come to confirm his doubt and to search for the proofs. Aliyah asks Rhea to talk slow and not to be loud. Prachi comes there calling Ranbir. Rhea asks why did she come here? Prachi says she came to talk to Ranbir. Aliyah asks Rhea to answer Prachi lovingly. Rhea says we don't want to talk as our relationships are bad. Rhea says that this is her husband's room and he is taking his shower and he was searching for his favorite shirt, so I thought to find it for him. She says he was making excuses that the shirt was not found and says you know how husbands are. She says they act as if the button was broken and then asks you to stitch the button etc. She says he wants to romance with her with unique ideas. Aliyah says I didn't ask you to tell in details. Rhea says I didn't tell Prachi how Ranbir romanced with me etc. Prachi gets sad. Ranbir comes out of the bathroom and asks what are they doing here. Rhea shows him his shirt and says it was here which you were searching for in my room. Ranbir says it was the same. Rhea goes. Ranbir asks Prachi why she came. Aliyah tells Rhea that Ranbir got doubtful on them. She says I don't know on which matter he is doubtful and until then nothing will be cleared. Aliyah says we have to know what Ranbir wants to confirm. Rhea says until then we cannot do anything. Rhea sees the servant called Naresh and asks him to give coffee. She tells him that Ranbir wants to know how he got drunk after Tandai. Aliyah says then he will want to know who had given Tandai to him. Naresh says you had given it and says Ranbir was feeling guilty after that day. Rhea asks Naresh why did he tell Ranbir and threaten to fire him. Aliyah asks him to leave. He pleads in front of them. Aliyah asks him to leave for 10 days. Naresh goes. Aliyah says we should clean your room. Rhea asks why is Ranbir doubtful on me. Aliyah says we should not let Ranbir's doubt be confirmed. Ranbir asks Prachi if she came to tell him something. Prachi says I want to forget it, but I cannot forget. She says you were opposite of exactly whatever you said and tells him that you used to say that you are a one-woman man. Ranbir says even now I am a one-woman man. Prachi says even now you are saying it. Ranbir says I am saying the truth and that is why I could look into your eyes and say it. Prachi says, I don't know if I should call this your courage or shamelessness, and says you are lying. Ranbir says, I am saying the truth, and this will be with me until I die. Prachi says, if you are a one-woman man, then who is Rhea to you? Ranbir says he doesn't care about Rhea and says there is one woman in my life whom I had loved, who I love, and whom I will love always. Prachi says my heart asks me to trust you, but my mind wants me not to trust you. She says that whatever Rhea told her and made her as other woman from one woman, she says you have gotten married to her. Ranbir asks Prachi to listen to him. Prachi says I couldn't bear the truth and I couldn't answer her due to you. She says our relationship felt ashamed and says I was proud of my love and marriage, but you ended everything. Ranbir says I would die, but Prachi slaps him hard and turns her face away shockingly. Ranbir says I will not let our love die, for which you feel proud. She asks what about our relationship? Ranbir says if we don't have a relationship, then you wouldn't have raised your hand on me. Ranbir says you don't listen to me and says I was saying that I would die, but I will not ruin our relationship and also the love which you have for me. Prachi says I don't love you. Ranbir says I will prove that my circumstances and time was wrong. I am a one-woman man and I will prove my love. He says it was good when we used to love each other. I did wrong that I brought you here. Prachi says you have separated me from yourself and not your mother. Prachi says I have to prove to the world that I am your wife just because of you. She is about to wipe his tears. He stops her and says don't do it. You have so much anger now. Prachi says it means that you are right and I am wrong. She says let me keep this anger. A song plays in the background. Prachi goes. Shahana comes there and cries. Ranbir asks what happened. Shahana says I got happy tears seeing you. He asks why. You got angry seeing me yesterday. Shahana asks him to promise that he will never get angry on her and he will forgive all her mistakes. She says I was worried as Prachi was worried. She says I have seen that you are War's best brother-in-law, and Shahana asks Ranbir. Ranbir smiles and asks Shahana what did you have to eat this morning and asks her to make Prachi eat too. She says Prachi feels that you have moved on with Rhea. Ranbir asks do you also feel the same? Shahana says no. Ranbir thanks Shahana and tells her that he will prove that he just loves Prachi. Shahana offers to help Ranbir and Ranbir thanks her. She says you have to welcome me. Shahana goes out and finds Preeti bringing Rhea's room dustbin there. She thinks I can get some proofs. She asks Preeti to get water for her. Preeti keeps the dustbin and goes to get water. Shahana searches in the dustbin and finds the medicine strip. She thinks to take its picture and also the video as proofs. She thinks that Rhea must have added these 3 tablets in Ranbir's drink so that he got drunk. Aliyah and Rhea searches for the dustbin and finds it in the hall. Rhea finds the medicine strip and says thank God. Ranbir did not see it. Aliyah asks Rhea to destroy the strip. Just then, they hear someone coming there. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Please don't forget to like this video, share it, and please subscribe to my channel for more updates. Thank you.